Well, hi, everybody. Welcome in once again to what you know is going to be another terrific, informative episode of Pick Your Politics. We've got a great guest on again today. Very, very lucky to have her. So I hope you stay with us through the whole thing, because you need to, because you're going to learn a bunch of stuff about our special guest. And we're very lucky to have her on the show again. She was on early on.
Yeah.
And we invited her back to kind of catch up and see what she's been doing, because Shelly Berkley is currently a candidate for the office of Mayor of Las Vegas. As you probably know, Shelly also served as the U.S. Representative for Nevada's 1st Congressional District from 1999 to 2013, being the very first woman to serve in that district. More recently, Shelly finished her tenure as the Senior Vice President of the Touro University System. During her 14 years in Congress, Shelly served on various committees like the Veteran Affairs Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee, Small Business Committee, and the Ways and Means Committee. Shelly was also known for being one of the strongest supporters of Israel while she was in Congress. And we want to welcome you back to the show.
Thank
I know
you.
You're working hard because time is running out.
Well, we
right?
still have 11 months to go, Dennis.
Yeah, but it's here before you know it.
Isn't
you
it
know
the
that.
truth?
It's just absolutely incredible. Let me start off, Shelly, and ask you this.
By the way, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey,
That's
anytime.
great.
You know that. What is the primary function of the mayor other than overseeing the city council?
Actually, I think you hit the nail on the head. In the city of Las Vegas, this is a city manager form of government, which means that the mayor, for all intents and purposes, is a member of the city council, where I believe the mayor gets their strength and their power is that you are the leader of the city. You represent everybody. Now, all the city council people represent their ward. And the people in their ward. The mayor is the mayor over everybody in the city. So I think that gives you have a bully pulpit, you're in the public eye all the time, and I think you can set the tone of where you envision the city a decade from now, and how you're going to unite all the city council people and the bureaucracy, those that work for the city, and reach out to the county, the other municipalities, the state, and the feds, and all work together. And I think that's what I'm uniquely qualified to be able to do.
I think you are too.
You know, you're not, Las Vegas isn't an island unto itself.
No.
We should be working very closely with the other entities, other jurisdictions.
Sure.
And luckily, I have a good relationship with just about everybody throughout the state.
No, you do. You do. Well, let me ask you this. How much direction then do you give? And for our viewers that may not know, not only do we have a mayor and city council, but we also have a city manager that does stuff, folks. How much direction do you give the city manager?
Well, I think that you work together. You need 4 votes on the city council to get anything accomplished. So you shouldn't, it doesn't make any sense to be a lone wolf or to be out there, you know, pounding your chest and talking about how strong you are and this is your position. The reality is an effective leader needs to be able to bring people together because without 4 votes, there is nothing you can accomplish. And I think I'm good at that and recognize the importance of not being a lone wolf, the importance of bringing people along with you, and developing consensus, which, lately isn't a very positive word, but it truly is, especially in city government. And that's why, Dennis, I love the fact that this is not a partisan race. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican, a Democrat, if you need your pothole fixed in front of your house, you want somebody that can get that pothole fixed. And you don't care whether they're R's or D's. 100%. You care about getting the job done.
100%. Absolutely 100%. There are issues that face every city in America across this country. In your view, Shelly, the biggest problem facing the city of Las Vegas right now?
I'll give you 4 that no matter where I go or who I talk to, these are the issues front and center on everybody's mind. Number 1, tied for 1 and 2, and they're all interconnected, by the way. Homelessness. We have a serious issue. We're not unique to other urban areas in the country, but at this point, and I've been spending a good deal of my time at the Rescue Mission and Catholic Charities, Vegas Stronger, and the other day I toured the courtyard to see what are we doing, what can we do better, and how can we get people off the streets and living independently where they're able to care for themselves. And it's just not sticking them in a hotel room, which some cities are doing. That's geography. I mean, we're dealing with very complex issues, needless to say, mental health issues, addiction issues, if it's alcohol or opioids, losing a job, affordable housing is huge. And there's different types of homeless people. They're just not, a homogenous group of people that this is why we're homeless. As you know, number 2, affordable housing, where the average house is over $400,000 to purchase. Are you kidding me? The very first home we purchased, and you know my background, when my family came to town, we had nothing, and then my dad went to work as a waiter at the Old Sands. The first house we bought was one of the old cinder block party homes off of Eastern Avenue. Cost $33,000.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what it did. It was obviously not opulent, but it gave us roots in the community. We belonged here. We owned property. And I see part of my job as making sure that those that come behind me have the same opportunities that my family had. And affordable housing is front and center for me. Also, crime. And this is so ironic. Crime, and I have a very close relationship with the sheriff. I like his brand of policing very much, and hope to be a good partner with him. Obviously, we want to support our police. We want to fund them adequately. We depend on them for our public safety. People are always worried about crime. The reality is, in southern Nevada, crime is going down. The only crime that is increasing is carjacking. And what the sheriff said to me when we were meeting and he was giving me a briefing, he said, if you own a Kia or a Hyundai, it's probably already been stolen. I said, oh my gosh. So that's a big issue. And then, of course, economic growth and development. The next 10 years, are going to be explosive in the city in a very positive way. We're getting the A's, as we know. That's another stadium. That's more building trade jobs, more tourists coming in. And I would bet money, and yes, I am a betting woman, I would bet money that we're going to get an NBA team in the next few years. And that means perhaps another stadium, more people pouring into town, more tourists, jobs will be plentiful. And this community we've had tremendous success over the last several decades. I think that's nothing in comparison to what we're going to see.
Interesting. We have exploded as far as the sports entertainment venues here. It's just absolutely incredible.
If you would have asked me as a kid if we would have any of these teams, are you crazy? The gaming industry would never allow it, and this is a gaming town. Oh no, this is the hottest sports venue on the planet right now.
You alluded to this a little while ago. about businesses, jobs. What type of incentives, if any, Shelly, are you willing to give to attract companies here?
Interesting question. And as you know, I have a gaming background. I love the gaming industry.
I know you do.
It's provided hundreds of thousands of jobs for so many families and people that call Las Vegas home. But I've also been an advocate on diversifying the economy. And for the last 10 years, I'm no longer on that board. Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance, the mission of this organization that I sat on the board for, is to attract new businesses. And we want good paying jobs that do not use or require a lot of water. And those are the companies we wish to incentivize to come to Las Vegas, that are environmentally sustainable, that aren't going to require a whole lot of water because we don't have a whole lot of water, and that are good paying jobs, not your standard minimum wage jobs. For those type of companies, I think incentives are appropriate. We want to encourage them to come and relocate here.
Absolutely.
And of course, Dennis,
It's a great place to do business, folks.
It is. It's a great place. But the other thing also is, and although the mayor has a limited ability to do anything when it comes to education, but I, as you know, have a strong background in education, and I know that we need to improve our education system. The two big issues over
100%.
right now and over the next decade: quality education for our kids and for job training, and better healthcare system. And as you know, I ran a medical school, medical institution for 9.5 years. I know healthcare, and I know what we need to do in this community.
People are always talking about or referring to all the people moving here. Well, that's true. That's going on in 4 or 5 states. People are coming here, but nobody talks about the people that leave, and that is a substantial number that you don't hear about. Why are they leaving? I believe it's because, again, jobs are unhappy with their jobs. They're not making enough money, and also they don't care for the school system here. I'm moving someplace that I think has better schools, so my kids get better education.
Yeah, well, that might be true, although we're still, well, I guess we would call it a donor state. We still have far more people moving into Vegas than we have leaving.
Totally.
And remember, in 1963, when my family came to Vegas, there were 80,000 people in the entire Las Vegas Valley. Now in the same area, we have 2.5 million.
Right.
Pretty extraordinary growth over the last 60 years, and more to come. We have to husband our natural resources very carefully, and water is going to be a major issue. But, I get, it's also, I would rather be living in a community that is growing than a community that is constricting.
Stagnant. Absolutely.
Because you know what that means: loss of jobs, loss of a tax base, and companies fleeing from the area. That we don't want.
Yeah, that we don't want is absolutely right. Public safety and crime are very important, especially here, because we are tourist driven. We don't want to drive away people that are visiting here, that are coming here. So that has got to be a very sensitive area for you and the other politicians in town.
Well, I can't speak for the others, but I do know that it's important to have a strong police force working with the community. And I think our Metropolitan Police Department does an extraordinary job interacting with all the sub-communities throughout the Las Vegas Valley, African American community, Hispanic community. I know since October 7th, and the attack by Hamas on innocent Israeli civilians, Metro has really stepped up with the Jewish community to provide a sense of safety in our own hometown. So I'm very pleased about that. But you're absolutely right. With 42 million visitors coming to Las
Yeah.
Vegas, this has to be not only perceived,
Right.
but it has to be a safe environment for
Yeah.
people to come and play and spend their money.
Yeah, no, Metro does a wonderful. Imagine if you lived in a city where the politicians or the mayor or whatever about defunding the cops. Okay, no.
Can't imagine that.
Can't imagine that either.
I don't.
Are you serious?
I haven't heard anybody, and there are 12 people running for mayor right now, and I suspect there'll be many more before we have to file for office in March. So right now we have 12. I don't know all of them. Obviously, I haven't even met all of them, but I have not heard a single person talk about defunding the police as part of their platform. Quite the contrary.
Right.
I think we need to work
Yeah.
closely with our police force to give them the tools we need to keep us safe.
We've had a lot of them on, Shelly, that are run. I didn't know there were 12, to be honest with you, but we've had a number of them on. They're all good people. They're all well-meaning. They're all creative. They have good ideas, but the thing that gets me is experience. You have experience working with
I have
huge
experience.
issues.
Yes, indeed. Look, I have federal experience,
Yeah.
state experience, and local experience. And I think that will serve me well. And if I'm lucky enough to be elected the next mayor of Las Vegas, give me the ability to run the city on day one. There isn't much of a learning curve because as you know, my congressional district overlaid the city of Las Vegas and the county and North Las Vegas, but it were the city issues that were front and center.
Yeah.
And again, my seniors I know well. I know what the issues are. Veterans, you can go down the list of people that I have interacted with for well over 40 years and feel very, very comfortable stepping in at this time.
Yeah, the Veterans Hospital,
Yes,
you're probably aware of, off of the 215. This is the lady that got it done.
Yeah.
What got you so involved with the veterans issues?
Well, first I was sitting on when I first went to Congress, I was appointed to the Veterans Affairs Committee, and I had already been very close with the veterans here in Las Vegas. But while I was running, they kind of took me under their wing and started educating me on the issues that they were confronting. So I got to Congress feeling pretty knowledgeable about veterans issues. When I first got to Congress, I set up a Veterans Advisory Committee and a group of veterans, and mostly, I mean, they're probably all gone now or mostly gone. World War II, Korea, a few from Vietnam, but the most active ones were the older people. And the women came to me, the lady vets came to me after the first meeting and said that they needed a mammogram machine at the old Adelaide Del Guy VA clinic. And okay, how hard could that be to get? So we got a mammogram to be in the clinic, and we were doing a ribbon cutting. And this was big. It was cute. It was pink. The lady vets loved it because this way they didn't have to go for their appointment and then have to go get a mammogram, then come back to the VA clinic. This was one-stop shopping. And so we're doing the ribbon cutting, and I make a quip at the podium that now that we have an MRI, we're going to a mammogram. Now we're going to get an MRI. A veteran walked over to me. They go, "You got to think bigger." I thought, bigger than an MRI? And they said, yes, you need a VA hospital. You have well over 200 to 300,000 veterans in this area, and we do not have a hospital. That's got me thinking, and that became a very important part of what my staff did. And we were able to get the land transferred from the BLM to the VA, and that's why
Got it
it's
done.
out there. We were able to get the funding for the planning, which was a $60 million appropriation, by the way. This planning stuff is not cheap. And then in 2006, the appropriation for the VA hospital in North Las Vegas, which was in my congressional district, it was the largest appropriation of that fiscal year. And it was a $600 million appropriation, and that's how we built that hospital.
Yeah.
And it was I'll never forget walking, and even things where I had a really good relationship with the architect. Architect calls me up, says, we got to meet. So we're having lunch at Honey Salt, and he says to me, there's extra money in the budget. We can go solar. We can, if we can, have covered parking, we can put the solar panels on the covered parking, and it will be the envy of the whole VA system, because we'll save a ton of money on power.
Right.
And little things like that. And then I'd call the secretary of the VA, say, you know what we really need? And so we would all work together, sometimes out in the open, sometimes a little surreptitiously. But we got that thing done, and it was my proudest accomplishment.
That is a great story. Another thing that I think is you'll bring to the forefront that helps a ton. You were on the Small Business Committee.
Yes.
You know what's going on with small business and the some of the roadblocks that they incur or the worries that they have. And I think that is a tremendous attribute for this job.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I worked and have worked in the past very closely with small businesses.
Yeah.
There are tens of thousands of small businesses in the Las Vegas area, Las Vegas community, women-owned businesses.
Yeah.
These are not businesses that have 10, 12, 20 employees.
Right.
They have, one and maybe somebody else working for them.
Right.
But these types of businesses need to be encouraged.
Absolutely. They
And
want a voice.
Yes, they do. And they're
want a
entitled
voice.
to it.
They want to be inclusive in
And it
in a lot of
creates
stuff.
jobs. It
Yeah.
creates jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you plan to accomplish, say, in your first 90 days in office?
Oh, it's always the first 100 days.
Well, I'm changing it
Oh, my, I
to
better
90
go
days. I'm
faster.
putting a little more pressure on you.
Oh, my word.
90, not 100.
Well, first, and again, all this is contingent on winning the election.
Yeah.
And I am not, I believe in hard work and earning everybody's vote. But let's say that I win. Between the time that I win, Election Day, and the time I'm sworn in, I will spend that time at City Hall, meeting all of the employees, the staff people that make Las Vegas go. I think that'll be very, very important. So when I'm picking
Absolutely.
up the phone to talk to the Planning Commission or to
Absolutely.
Planning
Yep.
Commission members or to licensing division, whatever it is, that I know who I'm talking to.
Right.
And they know me and know that I wouldn't be calling unless something was important. I believe very much in constituent services, as you know. Sometimes people they need help, or they need somebody to talk to that can
Right.
put them in the right direction, send them in the right direction.
Right.
And I'm really good at that, But look, dealing with homelessness, I hope to have a plan before I enter office. Affordable housing, working with all of the different jurisdictions, because this is not a Las Vegas issue. This is a global issue that needs
Right.
to be addressed by everybody.
Totally.
And look, with homelessness, a perfect example, approximately 20% of the homeless are veterans in this community. That tells me that when people leave the armed forces and go into civilian life, we as a country are not doing a very good job helping them.
Yeah.
And they're ending up on the streets.
Yeah.
And that is unacceptable. So to
Totally
me,
unacceptable.
this is as much of a federal issue as
Yeah.
it is a local issue.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need to work together.
Shelley, how would you describe your management skills?
Pretty good, actually. And I'll tell you, when I started at Touro University, I had no idea whether I could do the job. I have no medical background other than being married to a doctor, which I don't think
Right.
qualifies you for
No,
anything
no.
but
But it
spending
helps.
money. Yeah, it did
Yeah.
hurt. But so there, I had no idea if I could do the job. But I quickly learned that I am a very capable administrator. And again, it's not by yelling and making demands. It's having a vision and being able to explain your vision so that people want to be a part of it. And that's one of the things I would like to see in the city of Las Vegas is more camaraderie among the city council people.
Absolutely.
I know everybody represents their ward, but I think we need to have a more global view of what's going on throughout the city and what are our priorities. I know we have a strategic plan. I
Yeah.
think it's until 2050. I never saw a strategic plan that's decades long. So I think we need to work on that so that we know every 3 to 5 years you go back to your strategic plan. What worked? What didn't?
Right.
Where are we going from here now? And I think if you have everybody buy into the vision, that's their vision as well, that you're going to get something accomplished. Being a lone voice or, yelling and screaming about the Badlands, which has to be addressed, and other issues like that, stamping your foot and saying, this is what I want to do, it doesn't matter, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. It matters that you get 4 other people on the city council to agree with you.
Agree with you, right? So again, like you said, to get something done, is running the city, Shelley, like running a business? Are there some parallels?
Yes, there are. However, I never equated, because everyone say we got to run government like a business. There's a difference, and the difference is constituents. People that need to have input into what their local government is doing. So I think it's probably a lot easier to run a business than to run a government, but you just take those things into account. Look, you be thoughtful, you work hard, do your job, listen to other people, and make a decision.
Right.
And those making that decision is the most important thing. Is what type of input have you gotten? How can you implement it? Can you implement it?
Yeah.
And what's it going to take to make the city a better place to live?
As the mayor, would you do town halls? Would you do meet and greets?
Oh, all the time.
In order to stay in touch
Yes.
with the people that live in this community?
Oh, I think it is fundamental to the job. Is that you must do your town hall meetings. You must, and I'm a great believer in neighborhoods showing up at the supermarket. Putting down. We used to, when I was in Congress, we used to put up a table, a bunch of chairs. My staff came with me in the malls. So we were either at the Meadows Mall or in those days the Boulevard was open, and you let people know in the surrounding area that in those days it was the Congresswoman is going to be at the Meadows Mall between 9 and 12. Come.
Yeah.
And people used to come, and I'd have my whole staff there, and we'd listen to their issues if they had any.
Oh,
Some people
that's
just
very
wanted to
cool.
come and take a picture.
Yeah.
I know, or introduce me to their kids.
That's
Other
very
people had
cool.
other issues like landlord-tenant issues,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. And I keep saying on the show, it's running for office is hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. It's almost 24/7. And, it takes money also. And that's why all of these candidates ask and appreciate donations. What are you doing now to get out there? And are you knocking on doors? You holding any fundraising things?
Yes and yes.
So I know you're.
Now, I'm not
I know
knocking
you're
on doors
I know
yet.
you're working hard, but volunteers are always
Oh,
good.
yes. It's Berkeley,
For
the number
mayor
4 mayor.com.
.com.
Yes, go on the website. We'd love to have you. If you want to make a contribution, gladly accept it. If you want to volunteer, that's great, because once the new year happened, and that's a month from now, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, once you're in an election year, there'll be a lot of appearances, a lot of fairs, a lot of things to go to,
Yeah.
and you always need help. And
Yeah.
anyone that wants to volunteer, love to have them. And it's a lot of fun. You know, people say to me all the time, are you tired? No, heavens no. Wait, the first time I ran, and you'll remember this because I've known you this long, first time I ran for the Nevada State Assembly in 1982. I was pregnant with my son, Max. I was working full time, and I was running for office. So now, fast forward to mayor, I'm not pregnant. I'm not. My children are
Two grown kids, 2 grown sons. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, this is a
So
perfect.
that's out of the way.
It's out
Yeah.
of the way. I retired from Turo, so I'm doing this full time and loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. It energizes you.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And I just, look, there's a reason that I do this. It's, and at this point in my life, it's not a stepping stone. I'm not looking at my next office. This is it. It is pure public service by somebody that has the background and experience to execute this properly and to put the interests of the people of Las Vegas front and center, because
And
I've had my time.
That's what they care about.
Yep. Public service to me is not the public serving me. It's me serving the public.
Right.
And I think that's something that a lot of elected officials forget.
Yep. You're absolutely
I
right.
am very comfortable in this role as a public servant, and I have nothing but time and experience to offer the people of Las Vegas.
Yeah. No. So if you've got potholes, if you've got street lights out, let me know. Email me.
I hope they don't have to.
Shelly.
I hope they don't have to wait 11 months to get that pothole fixed. But if you do, I'll take care of it when I get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaves you
I
speechless.
absolutely love it. By the way, as Shelly mentioned, her husband is a nephrologist. And for those that are not sure what that means, we're talking kidneys here, folks. Yeah, he's an excellent doctor. Been serving the community for a long time. But he's also a restaurateur.
No, he sold the restaurant.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm
yes,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Dennis.
Damn, I was going to give that a plug.
Well, you know how tough the restaurant business is.
Oh, it's extremely
And,
tough.
Food
I know.
was great. The building was great. The
Food was
service,
awesome.
Totally awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough customers. And so after we never made a profit.
Boy.
Never made a profit.
Oh, boy.
I know, but it's okay. It's okay. It was a lot of fun. Larry loved it. He'd work all day and then he'd go down to the restaurant
Yeah.
at night and take care of people.
It's a tough business.
It is a very, very tough business, especially if you're not a chain or you're just.
Well, that's
yeah.
exactly right. It's very, very difficult. Anyway, don't forget the website.
Oh, Berkeley 4, but it's the number 4.
It's the number 4.
Berkeley4mayor.com.
Yep.
And love
Check
to
it
have you
out.
go on, and love your help if you're interested.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of fun this year.
Yeah. Anyway, Shelly, thank you so much again.
Oh, it's my
Because
pleasure.
I know
Thank
you are
you.
working hard. You just told me you came from
Hispanics in Politics
Hispanics
Breakfast.
in Politics
Yes.
this morning before
Yes.
she came here. She is like going at it all day, and that's what it takes. So again, vet your candidates, see where you stand with them, where you oppose them maybe, but the most important thing is you got to get out and vote. Get out and vote. That's what you got to do to make your voice heard. But
Exactly.
anyway,
Exactly.
good luck again.
Thank you.
And anything we could do to help, you know that, just holler.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Just you're more than welcome. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Pick Your Politics. For Shelly, I'm Dennis Silvers. Again, study the candidates, get out and vote, and because it's going to be here before you know it, folks. And this is a very important race, the mayor of Las Vegas. So until then, we'll see you back same time, same place next week. So long, everybody.
Bye, everyone.